All right. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good. Good morning.
All right. OSINT. You're probably not completely sure what it is. To you, it's probably a fancy acronym. You have no idea what it stands for. To me, it's hopefully a future career and a passion. But let me introduce myself first. My name is Nerissa Napier. I'm a senior at Marshall. I attend the Cyber Forensics and Security degree path. I've been at Marshall since 2020 in the fall. This will make my 5th year, going on 6th, and I will be graduating in approximately a year if everything goes according to plan. So let's get into it. OSINT, what is it? It stands for Open Source Intelligence, and basically it is using openly available sources to gather information on whether it be a suspect, a person of interest, anything like that, and you can use it in your day-to-day life. People don't really understand how, but it is applicable. So how it works, generally, it refers to the process of collecting information that is publicly available to support investigations. But like I said, it can be used in day-to-day life, whether it be just someone you don't necessarily know, you want to confirm that they are who they say they are, whether it be using a phone number or an address, anything like that. Gathering data from social media, websites, news media, news outlets, public records, even satellite imagery. So for instance, you can take a business number and turn that into an address with the not the Secretary of State's website, but the business registration website. And what you turn around and do is you plug that address in, you look at Google Maps, figure out who lives there, what car they're driving. So then you've got their address, you've got their name, you've got what car they're driving. You can confirm that with the tax records and just support that information. Objectives of OSINT would be information gathering for threat analysis, support for decision-making and strategic planning, monitoring and tracking events or entities. So threat analysis is exactly what it sounds like. You're just looking for threats that are going to come forth. You can gather the information based on whether it be someone's phone number, their name, anything like that. You can support your decision-making and strategic planning based on, if you're looking for someone specific and you want to know their phone number, plug in their name to something like True People Search. It'll give you their phone number, their address, known associates, anything like that. You can turn around and gather a lot of information on someone like that. Like I said, decision-making and support planning, strategic planning, anything like that. You want to brainstorm before you go into the investigation, and you want to brainstorm on who you're looking for, what information you're looking to gather, and exactly how you're going to do it, because you want that to be a repetitive manner that can be repeated by somebody with the same results and the same outcomes. That way it is a scientific process that can be repeated by the court and be justified. So like I was saying, the process, step 1, you're going to identify who you're looking for, what you're looking for, the person, information, anything like that you're looking for. You're going to brainstorm the process of exactly how you want to do this, exactly what you want to do, and exactly how you're going to do it. So laying out those steps, making sure they can be repeated with the same results, making sure it's a scientific process, making sure that your hypotheses are not biased, saying, I will not find evidence that so-and-so used this computer to commit said crime. I will not find that so-and-so used this account to access this website, anything like that before you start your plan of action. Then step 3 would be to investigate using OSINT to find the information and looking at what it means. So not just the information, but what you can infer from it. And then typing up your report would be step 4. This is what the court's going to see, so you got to make sure that it's your best work and it looks good, because they're not going to see all the hard work in the background. They're just going to see the final report, so hopefully they take it for the weight that it is and, put your stuff in court. The elements of OSINT are source identification, analysis, collection, verification and validation, processing, and reporting and dissemination. So first you would turn around and select the evidence that you're going to be analyzing, figure out where it came from, identify how it works. That way you know exactly what you're looking for and what tools you're going to use to analyze it. Then you're going to collect it, make sure it's safely gathered, whether it be in a Faraday box or anything like that. That way it's away from the internet. not being vulnerable to any malware, any manipulation, anything that can be done remotely, anything like that. Like I said, using a Faraday box processing, you're going to put it into whether it be magnet axiom processing, anything like that, process it, get it ready to look at, keyword searches, anything like that, figuring out what you're looking for, who you're looking for, anything you really need to do there. And then analysis, you're going to be interpreting your results. So you're going to be looking at what you found, who you found, what it means. So just because you find an address doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if you find an address and you have a social media post with intent to go to said address and commit a crime, then you have something to look at there. Verification and validation, super important. You always want to make sure that your sources are correct and where they're coming from, and that, it can be repeated, like I said, because if it can't be repeated and you don't get the same results, then you're not following a scientific process and it's not going to be able to be used in a court of law. Reporting and dissemination, that's probably the most important step because, like I said, the report is what the court's going to see. So you want to make sure that that's your best work and that you present your findings in a clear and concise format. That way they can read them and know exactly what's going on, exactly who you're going after, all the information they need in that one report. So in practice, it's kind of hard to imagine what you could use it for or what it could do, but it's kind of cool, kind of crazy. So who wants to see what information could be easily gathered on them using OSINT in just 2 websites?
Wow.
You're not going to use my name, are
Use mine if you
you? We'll
want to.
find out.
So simply from a phone number. What's your phone number, ma'am? So that's something you give out pretty readily. Someone comes to you and says, hey, can I message you about this later? Or, hey, I'm looking to attend Mountwest. Can you give me some information? You have no idea who this person is. They can plug your information into this website and find that your name is you're years old, you were born in you live in Huntington, West Virginia. Once again, they already have your phone number. They can find your current address listed as Huntington, West Virginia 25701. It's worth approximately it's a 2-bed, 2-bath house. They can even go to Google Maps and figure out where the front door, possibly back door is, how to break into your house. They can find your previous phone numbers. They can also find any arrest records, anything like that. Like I said, your current property value, how to break into that. Previous addresses that you've lived at. They can also find possible relatives. So I'm assuming that you probably know Robert, Amanda, William. Yeah. So that's kind of creepy that just from your phone number. Yeah. So just from a simple phone number, anyone can pull up that information. And you think, okay, well, that's just one website. No. So let's see here. Once again, for Huntington, West Virginia 25701. Previous addresses. Let's see here. And right there's your phone number. And that's something that we give out pretty well every day. So people say, how can you use OSINT in your daily lives? Well, we're all very familiar with online dating. I'm sure everyone here has heard of it. Everyone here knows what a threat it is. And everyone here probably knows that people give their phone number out on it. Absolutely readily available. You don't know who these people are. You don't know what they're capable of. All they have to do is type your phone number into a website just like this and get all of that information on you in the blink of an eye. So if you go back to what I was discussing before, how it can be used, all they have to do is type in your phone number. They've identified you. They can they don't have to brainstorm at this point. They know what they want to do. They can investigate. Let's see their house, Google Maps. Let's pull it up. Let's see what car they drive. Let's follow them around. Let's turn around and figure out where they live and how to break into it. Front door, back door, windows. Where do they sleep? Do they sleep upstairs? Then they can follow your pattern of life. They can follow everything you do. They can follow your family. It's a very scary thing. So not only can OSINT be used to have a criminal aspect and figure out these predators on the internet, but it can also be used in your daily life to protect you and your family. It can be used in your daily life just to find out information. Like I was saying earlier, you can go from a registered business number to their registered address, registered home address. You can use that to look up their property taxes. Certain states like Ohio don't have property taxes. It's a bummer. You just got to work around that. But, you know, you can look up in West Virginia their property taxes, see what car they drive, confirm that on Google confirm that on Google Maps. Excuse me.
You definitely accepted the cookies.
Confirm that on Google Maps, depending on if you pull it up and they were parked outside in the driveway at the same time that the Google Maps car drove by, you can see what car they drive. Another thing is social media. We put everything on social media. Kid gets a car, it gets posted on social media. Kid gets their license, posted on social media. Half the time, people don't take the time to scribble out the license number, scribble out the address on the license. They post it right in front of their house with the house numbers posted right behind them. And then they post their car. So you turn around, you have an address, you have a car, easy way to follow them, easy way to track them. And it's one of those things that you can turn around and follow someone through everything they do on social media. And what I mean by that is, how many different usernames do you use?
Me, 6.
6? That's impressive. How many do you use? That's really impressive. Do you want to know how many?
I'll use the same one if someone else hasn't already taken. That's the answer you're looking for.
That is.
I mean, if it's something important, it won't be anything similar to what you would normally call me on.
Well, that's really impressive because most people use the same exact username for every single account unless it's taken. Believe it or not.
Now, if it's like gaming, I'll use the same thing on gaming.
And you wouldn't believe how many crimes are committed on gaming platforms. Whether it be through, what's the most popular one right now? Fortnite.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, Call of Duty, all of those. And people are grooming children using these usernames, and they don't understand that it can tie back to them in their real life. And what I mean by that is if they use the same username for their personal Facebook account and their gamer tag, all you got to do, you may not have a name when this comment is made to a child online, but using OSINT, you can find this person. And what I mean by that is taking their gamer tag, plugging it into a search engine, and it'll pull up every single, result with that specific keyword search. And once you do that, you can get their personal Facebook. You've got their name. You look at their Facebook, you found their address, you found their car, you found their kid, you found where their kid goes to school. If they're that parent, you found what grade their kid's in, who their teacher is, all of this information just based on a comment that they made online. It's crazy that this information is so readily out there and available for use, and people just don't think about it.
No, they don't think about it. They also don't think about even trying to restrict access to something. A lot of the times, especially like with Facebook profiles and other social media accounts, they'll set their security to public so that where the whole world can see everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my friends' kids, they just have free room all over the place.
Absolutely, yeah. And people do not monitor what their kids post. They'll post pictures from inside their house. They'll post pictures from outside of their house, like I said, with the address number right there behind them. And that's one easy way to find them. Predators online, they don't necessarily think about those things because a lot of them have normal lives. Believe it or not, it's kind of disgusting, but they have normal lives. They have kids, they have families, and they'll post their kids and their families just like every other person on Facebook. And you can turn around, find their address, go right to it. Now, does law enforcement have a lot of time to do this? No. Is law enforcement going to sit here and scrape the internet all day for predators? No. They're going to be out patrolling the streets, catching your local crack dealer. But is this important? Is this something we should probably look at a little more? Yes. As of right now, the only place I really know that does OSINT as a job is the West Virginia Fusion Center. It's a very interesting place. They do a lot of different things. It's a liaison between the federal and the state government, but basically they follow this exact same process of the identification of the person, the collection of information, the processing of the information, the analysis, the verification of the information, and then the report writing. And they will go out and, per se, look at missing children to see whether or not they can be found based on their social media presence, or if they have a friend that's posting on social media and the friend posts a picture of them at McDonald's on 5th Avenue, then guess what? You know they're still in the Huntington area. You know where they're at. They're safe. They're not, per se, not missing, but they're safely located. And a lot of times that's how they do get found, because especially, I think the statistic is 93% of missing children is a runaway, especially adolescent teens. So yeah. So OSINT is a very powerful tool that not a lot of people know about. It's one of those things that you don't hear it very often, but when you do, you know you're in the right place. So I didn't want to make this super long. Everyone can attend other sessions because that's what I plan to do. But thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Yes, Bill.
Where did you learn how to do all this?
I learned this at Marshall University in the Open Source Intelligence Exchange Lab. It's a wonderful program that has in the past worked with Operation Underground Railroad and is currently working with, there are 2 analysts in the lab working with the Innocent Lives Foundation, and they're working on a partnership with the West Virginia Fusion Center, like I mentioned earlier.
We already have one with them.
And then...
We have a partnership with the Fusion Center, so keep going, I'm just trying to...
And then there are also analysts in the lab who are partnered with the Secretary of State's office working on election infrastructure. So, all right, well, you all have a great day. Thank you.